Hi everybody, Laurie here from Unique in the Creek. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. So today I thought I would do a USA inspired flower wreath. And you guys are like, oh God, not another flower wreath. This isn't going to be just any flower wreath. I've even made a pattern for you guys. I will be posting it. So I will be bringing the camera down to the board. I just figured you guys hardly ever see my face, so not that there's anything to see. But once in a while, I guess my face, you know, showing my face is helpful. So anyways, if you're just joining me and you've not ever seen me before, my name is Laurie Franklin. I am the CEO, inventor, and creative visionary for Unique in the Creek wreath boards. They're a lot of fun. So today, like I said, for Memorial Day weekend for my friends, I was working on a red, white, and blue swirl wreath. I did make this beautiful printable pattern, okay, that you're going to be able to, I'm going to post it. It'll be posted on the YouTube description. And I'll also post it in Unique Wreath Creators, our sister group. It's a free group. It's a group, all Unique in the Creek inspired projects. So if you do like Unique in the Creek boards, I really highly suggest joining it. It's called Unique Wreath Creators on Facebook. The talent in there is mind-blowing. There's like 25,000 people in there that do Unique in the Creek wreath boards, and they share their stuff, and they even share how they do it. So it's a fabulous group. So we are going to be using the large board today, and if you're not familiar with the boards, you can write your pattern. You can write your pattern right on the board. So I have a B for blue. I have an R. This is just Sharpie marker because once we cover this up, nobody's going to see it. I have an R for our red and a W with a black Sharpie marker for our white. So what I've written on this board is just mimicking what is on the pattern, okay? So that way I don't have to keep referring over to the pattern for my petal placement, because I just have to look, and we're just going to go around row 2 and put the corresponding flower color, petal color, right on the board. And I'm going to go over what I'll be using. No, this is not a kit, but you can buy everything on Unique in the Creek. I'm just going to go over that. I just simply ask, if you're going to try this, try it on a board. It is super easy, and you won't have to figure everything out. And if you're not going to try it, if you're watching on YouTube, give us a subscribe. That's all we ask. We come up with tutorials, you know, 3 to 5 times a week. We just ask for a simple subscribe, or if you're watching on Facebook, give us a like or a follow. Yay! Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, we're using the large board. I have preloaded the large board, the normal holes on row 2, normal holes on 3, normal holes on 4, and normal holes on 5. Again, matching this. If you're not familiar again with our boards, there's numbers on them. So you'll see a number 1, a number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Easy peasy. So we're going to go by row, starting on row 2 to row 5. Okay? And preloading the board, we do it all the time. It's just going down and back up with 18-pound zip ties. So I use and sell I think they're 6.3 inch long zip ties, 6-inch zip ties, but 18-pound is the key, because if you get like a 40-pound, this is a 40-pound, this is an 18-pound. Do you see the head difference on that zip tie and the thickness of the zip tie? This is overkill. This is great. We have 10-inch long ones like this, 40-pound. These are great for hangers. So if you just want to grab a bag just to use for your hangers. You'll have 100 hangers. These are great, but they're too much for making our wreaths. So we just use the 18-pound, which is nice. They come in a 100 pack, and they're much less expensive than the 40-pound ones, okay? So we preloaded the board, rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's easy. And I did them closed. Now closed means, you know, we're not closing it all together, just closing until we hear the clicking. All right, so we're using the large board. We preloaded our board. For the center, I'm bringing it back out again because I love this stuff. For the center of my flower, I'm using our silver rhinestone bling rope. So this is the silver on silver rhinestone. It is super sparkly because it's actual rhinestones, okay? So it's not like the plastic paillettes or anything. It's actual rhinestone, and that is why it's so sparkly. Now for this flower, you can use whatever center you want to. There's many. You can use a prefabricated center. You can use a center made out of burlap, whatever you want. We have several different tutorials on how you can do your center. I wanted this thing to shine. So I'm going to show you how I made this. It is on a 5-inch half ball. Okay. So on our website, uniqueinthecreek.com, you get 2 5-inch half balls. They're already split for you. So you get 2 5-inch half balls. So you can do 2 centers. Okay. These are 5-inch, and we also have a 6-inch, which is only 1 in the package. And 4-inch, they discontinued for some reason. I don't know why. But then we got 3-inch for the mini flowers that everybody's doing. Okay. We're also going to be using some white horizontal wide stripe mesh, and we have a ton in stock. All of this is in stock as of right now, May 24th, May 24th. On uniqueinthecreek.com. So I'm using red horizontal wide stripe, I'm using royal blue horizontal wide stripe, and I'm using white horizontal wide stripe. You can use any mesh you want. Horizontal wide stripe I like because it's good quality. It's nice and thick. It makes and keeps the petal formation nice and formed like we want it. Yeah, so I'm also going to tag, if you want to do a Americana style, you can use like more of a burgundy red, a cream, and a navy blue. And you can do the Americana style with perhaps like a gold bling rope center. And then we're also using some stars. Now we have these on our website. Again, I will link them. They're just thin wood stars, and there's 3 different sizes in this bag. So there's like a large size, a medium size, and a small. I'll show you guys. So you got large, medium, and small. Okay, these are just thin stars. They're made out of wood. If you're doing Americana, you don't have to paint these, because they're the perfect color for Americana. They're like the wood color. For today's, I'm doing a bright, vibrant wreath. So I've painted my wood stars. I painted them white, and I put some fine glitter on them. I didn't know what size I wanted to use, so I painted the small size, and I painted the medium size. Okay, and we're using 13 of the, well, it depends what I choose. I painted 13 medium, and I painted 13 small, because I wasn't sure which size I was going to use until I finished the wreath. Anyways, just white craft paint, quickly go over them. Once the white paint dries, you can then go over them with Mod Podge and sprinkle it with glitter, and then you'll have some white glitter stars. So you have lots. Anyways, wood stars, we're using those. And that's it. We'll be using a cable mount and a pipe cleaner for our half ball. And yeah, so you're going to need a hot glue gun. Okay, get your hot glue gun ready. And your bling rope. One package of bling rope, it's 15 feet. One package will do a whole 5-inch center. Okay, you'll have a little bit left over. So what I like to do is once my glue gun's heated up, there is a little circle thing right in the very center of your half ball. I like to just take the end of my glue gun and because it's hot and just go down right where that spot is and burrow a little hole in the top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue right down, hot glue right down in the center of that ball. Then I'm going to take the end of my bling rope and I'm just going to hold it down into the hole so the glue grasps it. Okay. And now what we're going to do once it's in there, I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Now you're just going to use small amounts of glue as we go for this project because we don't want any glue seeping up between, because you can get rid of any glue strings by just hitting it with a hot glue gun or a hair dryer, but it's much easier if you can try and avoid having any big glops of glue while you're making this. And I'm just taking it and I put some glue just around, hold the center, and then I'm just going around to start the center. Now, the bling rope is made with it's like a PVC tubing inside, so it is hollow inside. And then just to keep adding a little bit of glue. Now, I don't put the glue right up against. I kind of put it, you know, 1/8 of an inch down. And I like to kind of take my rope and kind of glide it up. So it's catching some of the glue that I put there, but it's not, doesn't have too much glue that it's going to pop through our layers here. Okay, so again, just put a little bit of glue. See, I didn't put it right up close to where I'm going here. And then I just take it and I kind of drag it through the glue and bump it up right against. And you're just going to keep going around and around this half ball. Okay, and you're going to just keep doing that all the way around. Like I said, it'll take you almost the whole bag to do a 5-inch half ball. You don't want to use E6000 on the styrofoam here because E6000 will eat the styrofoam. Okay, just a word to the wise. Hot glue is suffice, because the hot glue kind of melts into the styrofoam and the rhinestones are grasping onto that glue, so they're kind of melting into the styrofoam as well. Okay, so don't use E6000. Your styrofoam will melt. Okay, so you're going to continue all the way around till you get to the end. All right, so what we're going to do is I got this much left off. So covered the whole half ball. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of cut this on an angle, at 45-degree angle. I'm going to take my glue gun, put some glue right at the bottom of the foam ball here. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to push the end of my bling rope into the hot glue, and it's going to kind of melt into the foam as well. Now, don't do this obviously with your bare fingers because it's hot glue, Just use the end of your scissors and push that in. Okay, so that's how you finish it off. How pretty that is. And then to attach our half ball, I'm just, again, going to use some hot glue. I'm just going to put a dollop of hot glue kind of in the center here. And the hot glue and the foam love each other. I'm using a cable mount with no adhesive. Remove the adhesive if you have adhesive sponge on the back, because that will eventually fall off. Now, if you do it without adhesive like this, you're just going to push down in your cable mount, and the glue and the cable mount are kind of melting into the foam. I don't use floral pins anymore because I find this is the best way for your flower centers. The glue, hot glue and foam love each other, and I've never had one come off. Like when this dries, you have to yank that sucker. I find if you do the floral pins crisscrossed with the pipe cleaner, the floral pins, if it's eventually when, you know, if it's hot outside, the floral pins will eventually loosen and the pipe cleaner will fall off, and then your center will fall off your flower. So I highly recommend just using the cable mounts, and they're nice and easy. And we actually sell the cable mounts non-adhesive, and there's like 100 in a bag. So lots to last you. Okay, so that is our center is done. Oh, that's gonna look so pretty. Our center is done. Our stars are ready to go for the end. They're all dried, the paint. Our board is labeled. So again, it's the pattern. I will post that. Now the petal. We need to have, for this pattern, 14 red petals, 15 blue petals, and 10 white petals. 14 red, 15 blue, and 10 white, okay? You're gonna cut your mesh at 10 by 10, okay? So you're gonna need blue, you need 15 pieces of blue at 10 inches. You do not have to wood burn or heat seal. Now, when I cut this horizontal wide stripe, I'd like to cut it in between the two thicker plastics. It just prevents a lot. You're not going to see any edges on this petal because we are going to be doing the lolly petal. Now, I've taught you guys a couple times now how to do the perfect lolly petal because a lot of people are scared of it. But once you see this flower, I think you guys will reassess the lolly flower because I think you're really going to like it. Okay, so there's our 10 by 10 piece. Okay, we're going to, I'm going to use a stapler, and I also got a little bit of a few 4-inch zip ties. I do have 4-inch zip ties coming, Unique in the Creek zip ties. They're just on the slow boat from overseas, so I have no idea where they are, but they're on their way. So we will have some 4-inch soon. So we're going to do the lolly petal. Curl up. Okay, curl up. We're going to turn it into a diamond shape. Now, curl up means it rocks back and forth. I'm going to turn it into a diamond shape. My factory edge is on my top left on my diamond shape and my bottom right. Now, there's a little bit of math to make every single lolly petal exactly the same. There's a little bit of math involved, and if you have a cutting mat, that'll help tremendously, okay? You're going to take your top corner, you're going to bring it to your bottom corner. All right, and you're making a triangle. All right. Now, I want to find the center of this triangle. I find the easiest way is just to take the left corner and flip it over to the right corner and match up those two corners. Okay, so this would be the middle right here. So I'm just going to press this down, grab, you can see it's folded over, grab that middle, okay, and flip it over like that. So we got the middle pinched like that. I'm going to take, and I'm going to put the tail, the very tip of the tail on like 10" down here. And 4 inches up, I'm going to find from 4 inches up from the tail. 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. I'm going to pinch it and bring it to the center. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can see through my mesh. Okay, so you're pinching 4 inches from the top to the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that tail where I'm pinching down is 4 inches. Then I'm going to take the top. I'm going to pinch it about, if you want to use your cutting mat, pinch it at the corner here about 1 inch. Bring that to the center where you're holding on in the middle. And then take the bottom one, pinch it about, just pinch it, have them both flat, pinch it, slide it to the center. This is the actual back of the petal, okay? Then I'm going to take a zip tie. Now I'm going to use zip ties at the bottom of my petal. You'll see me a lot of time use rubber bands, but a zip tie at the bottom of your petal will act like a stopper. So if you go to pull the petal out of the zip tie, it's not going to come off, okay? So what you're wanting to do is you're going to put your zip tie at the bottom at about 3 inches. So 1, 2, 3. So just below where you were pinching in the center to hold on, and pull that tight. All right, now I'm not going to even flip it over yet, because if you do this way every time, your petals will be exactly the same every time. Then you see these two, and if you don't have these two corners, just push them up. So you have these two corners here at the back. And this is where your stapler comes in handy. I take the two corners, pinch them together, and I'm just going to bring the two corners to meet and overlap just a smidge. And then I'm going to staple it just to hold those two corners together. Now, if the staple falls out after your wreath, it's okay. Nobody will see it. Okay. I'm going to pull this tight, and then I'm going to cut that zip tie off the bottom. And you will get the perfect lolly petal every single time if you do it like that. So you'll see that there's got like two kind of pleats going up the middle. And every single one of my lolly petals that I've done, I did these upstairs, are exactly the same. If you do a little bit of math, you can get them all looking exactly the same. The key to a really nice looking flower wreath is having all your petals very, very similar, like looking the same. That really helps with the aesthetic of your flower wreath. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I'll do it with a piece of white. And then once I have the lolly petal formed, I'm just going to trim it off just a little bit, so we don't have lots of bulk at the bottom. And there's your lolly petal. So you need 15 of these, 14 red ones, and 10 white ones. So let's do a white one. I'll do that again. Okay. 10 by 10. All right, curl up so it's rocked back and forth. Diamond shape. Factory edge, top left, bottom right. Top corner, bring it down to the bottom corner. All right, got a triangle. I just put my right hand kind of right by the middle. I'm going to fold the left corner over to the right corner to make sure I get the center of our mesh square perfectly. I'm going to grab the edge here, open up the corners. So we have like this. Put your tip And then I'm going to go up 4 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the 4 inch, I'm going to take the edge and bring it into the center, and the top too. Take the edge of it, bring it to the center at the 4 inch. All right, so we have a 4 inch tail. Then I'm going to take the corner here, pinch it, slide it in, and then I'm going to hold it where I'm pinching in the center. And again, pinch it, slide it in. We want to have these corners there. Take a zip tie or a rubber band. Okay, you're going to wrap it around. Then I'm going to take, again, we're going to make sure that both pieces of mesh, cut little strips off so they don't get in the way. Pinch these 2 corners, and I'm just kind of overlapping them just a little bit, enough that I can staple them together. Flip it over, and again, voila. Exact same size and style every time. Okay, tighten this up, cut that, cut some of that excess off, and you're good. So if you got a roll of red, a roll of blue, and a roll of white, you can make 2 of these patriotic flowers. You'll have enough mesh to make 2. Okay, so that is our petal. I'm doing the whole thing with this petal. So now, like I said, it's easy peasy. Once you got your petals made and everything, we're just going to go around row 2. I've already put my pattern, wrote my pattern right on my board. So I'm going to start right where the number 2 is here. You can start wherever you want, but for teaching purposes, I'm starting right on the number 2. The number 1, row number 1, we're not using. However, I'll be using these 2 hanging holes on row 1 for a hanger for our wreath. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your petal on row 2. The first one is a blue petal. I'm going to slide the tail in, and I'm going to do my zip tie up right after the zip tie that's on the bottom. Do you see what I mean about a stopper? When you use a zip tie, that's not going to come out. Okay, like you can use rubber bands, but it's much easier. Well, not easier. It's more professional if you do, because you don't want somebody calling you and saying, "Oh, my petal came out of my wreath. I need it to be fixed." That won't happen. And now I'm going to skip this blue one. I'm just going to do every other. Again, doing it up so it's right in there. My granddaughter's here. I can hear her. Okay, I'm going to go in here. Now, if you put your zip tie on the tail at the exact spot every time, you won't even have to measure how far in your petal tail is going, because the zip tie is up at the 4 inches, okay? Okay, so I'm going to come back and put these 2 blue on. And the reason I just waited because this blue one is going to kind of sit on top of these 2 blue ones. And then we'll do this one. So they look like little balloons. And there's different ways you can do the lolly petal, but if you choose one way, stick with that way throughout the whole wreath to keep it consistent looking. All right, now we're moving. Next is 2 red. So having these pre-made, I did these upstairs when I was watching TV. Having these pre-made obviously is much easier because you just plop them in once you've made them. Okay, so we got 2 red. Then 2 white. Okay, white, white, 2 red again, okay, 2 white, and this is going to make a swirl. It's going to make a red, white, and blue swirl wreath. Flower wreath. Okay, and then 2 red. So you too can write your pattern right on your board. Obviously you can see I haven't had to look at this because I just put it onto my board here. And our last red on row 2. So row 2 is done now. As you can see, this is going to be a pretty big flower wreath. Now you're going to go around and cut off your zip ties. All right, so row 2 is done. Now we're going to go on to row 3. Again, it doesn't really matter where you start because my pattern's already on here. So I will start, there's a W, so we're going to do a white. And you just want to go clockwise or counterclockwise. Just keep making sure you're going around in a circle. This one's red. This one's white. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Memorial weekend. We had our holiday last weekend, Victoria Day. Okay, red. Not sure what that is up there. All right, so blue, 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 and red. So we got 3 blues. Okay, that row is done. That's what we got so far. Okay, we'll start right there. It's a blue. Next one is a blue. Last one, blue. We're in row 5. So in row 5, we're going to be using the normal holes and the shared holes. Now, I don't want to cover too much of the 2 center holes there. So I'm going to just trim as close to the zip tie as I can. It just makes for putting the center in a lot easier. Okay. Isn't this fabulous? Now we're going to put the piece de resistance on. The silver bling. Okay, make sure we have our swirls going. So we got white down there, red, blue, that's pretty much a given, white, red. All right, we're good. Okay, now you're going to take your beautiful center. I was going to use the red and silver too, but this would be good for the Americana one, not so much for the bright red, but silver. Look at that bad boy. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to go down the 2 center holes. Just have to kind of move the mesh away. Put one down the 1 hole. And then move. Oh, it's on this side. That's why I said just trim a little bit of it. You don't want too much bulk in the center because you want to find your center holes. Okay, grab the 2 pipe cleaners. Okay, I'm trimming that off. I'm going to put that back down the hole to make sure the back of the wreath is nice. So there we go. Business on the back. Party on the front. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, and I'm going to put a zip tie. I'll use that 10-inch. You don't have to use a 10-inch one. But you can feel right where the logo is, the 2 center ones up at row 1. Okay. Like I said, these 10-inch are perfect for hangers. They are a 40 pound, so they're a little thicker and durable. Okay. There we go. And now we have our stars. And you always want your blue, the top left side, just like the flag. And I think the medium, these are the medium, and I'll show you the small. And these are the small. I could probably even I could do a combo of one of them. 1, 2, 3. Or you could even do the big ones. Like I said, if you're doing an Americana one, you don't need to paint the wood stars because it'll match the cream. But these are the bigger ones. I think the medium ones are perfect, I guess. All of them would work, so. Okay, like I said, I painted these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now there's going to be two petals that won't have a star. I think I'll use these two. 2 petals that won't have a star because you have 13 stars. All right, and then I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue and glue my, and put it kind of right on the center of the petal without glue strings. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? I didn't want to do it on the small board because I like to have row 1 empty. So there is something for the outside petals to sit on. Plus, I wanted to make this big. So it ends up being 24 inches. Not bad. And there is your Patriotic swirl with lolly petals.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. Say love you.
Love you.
Love you. All right, everybody. Have a great one, and we'll see you again soon.